What a time to be alive in our right minds. All right, Shalom. I want to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakudash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and grace and peace to you elected around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. This is your fellow servant, Rokayer from the GMS Orlando camp, coming at you with the news and prophecy. All right, I have a couple of things I want to touch on tonight. You know, the Lord wants us edifying unto you elect. I was just scrolling through my subscription pages today, you know, and through the Spirit, man, the Lord has so much going on right now, you know, that is beautiful. You know, it's really hard to keep up with, you know, but nevertheless, it's beautiful to have the eyes to see, the ears to hear, and the mind to comprehend exactly what's going on in the earth. You know, and as prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we're commissioned, all right, to give the breakdown, all right, on what's going on in the earth. All right, we're commissioned to sound the trumpet, all right, to the judgment that the Lord has coming to not only America, Babylon the Great, but to all the world, all right, especially to you Israelites, all right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians who refuse to repent, although the hand of the Lord is stretched out daily. All right, the hand of the Lord is stretched out daily through his prophets, his servants, the prophets, all right, who you see out on the highways and byways week in and week out, and who you listen to on these e-epistles day in and day out. All right, the hand of the Lord is stretched out continually. All right, but if you continue to refuse, the Lord has sore judgments coming for you. All right, and before we get into that, you know, I want to get this precept here. I've been meditating on this a lot recently. Here in Amos, the 3rd chapter, in the 8th verse, it says, "The lion have roared, who will not fear? The Lord power have spoken, who can but prophesy?" You know, and the Lord is known as the Lion of the tribe of Judah. All right, Yahushua. All right, and Yahushua is, he's roared, he's spoken. Who will not fear? All right, when you think about this analogy, you know, when a lion roars, it's an instant fear that's stricken into the hearts of men, because men know a lion ain't playing no games. A lion will tear your ass up in an instant. So when you take that and you apply it to Yahushua, and how Yahushua has roared here in these latter days, you know, he's spoken, you know, through these prophecies, he's spoken through his men, who will not fear? Knowing that Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua is far greater, far more fearsome, all right, far more terrible than a lion. Who can but prophesy? All right, when you hear these words, man, you know, when you hear these things, how can you not say what's going on? How can you hold this back? Really, what else is there to talk about? Not saying that in the sense of, you know, you know, this is our last resort. This is the only resort. The truth is the only resort. What is there else to talk about here in these latter days? Basketball, stats, sports, bread and circus, that's all played out, man. Everything here is played out in this society, man. Everything is done. It's through. Your job is through. These women that Jake chased, through. The bag that Jake chasing is through. It's getting ready to crash. These sports is on the decline. It ain't as fun as it used to be. Everything here is on the decline. The morale here of the people is through. The entertainment, the nightlife, whatever you get into, whatever you used to get into in the world, man, everything is done. Everything is finished. All right, this place is over with. What else is there to talk about outside of these prophecies, man? You know, let's get this. Second Esdras, the 15th chapter. In the 1st verse, it says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." All right, and through the Spirit, man, we're speaking the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All right, these are the prophecies, all right, that have been divinely inspired by our power, all right, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahushua. These are not our words. These are not these aren't our blueprints. This is a strict counsel. All right. This is direct counsel from the heavens. All right. By way of prophecy. All right. And prophecy means to say before. All right. And all these things that we're seeing here in these latter days were written aforetime. Why? For our learning, like it says in Romans the 15th chapter. And the Lord caused them to be written in paper. All right. So that he that readeth it, he may run that readeth it. Pursuing Habakkuk the 2nd chapter. All right, run to what? Run to spiritual mental preparation, because what's coming is going to take a very faithful, spiritual, and mentally stable man. All right, the scriptures say this in Isaiah the 33rd chapter. That what? In the 6th verse, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, is his treasure. All right. And the fear of the Lord is our treasure. Going back to Amos, the 3rd chapter. Right. All right. The lion is roared. Who will not fear? The Lord God have spoken. Who can but prophesy? All right. The fear of the Lord is our treasure. Why? Because the fear of the Lord keeps us on the straight and narrow. When you think about fear, fear is a great motivator. All right. Fear is a great motivator. And in this case, the Lord has put the fear of him in us, all right, to keep us on the straight gate, all right, to keep us on the straight and narrow, the righteous path. Lord willing, we are the elect, you know, but it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that times, all right. And, you know, this is something that we're learning on a daily basis, how that this wisdom and this knowledge and this faith that we've been made privy to is the stability of our times and the strength of our salvation. Because through these trying times that have come upon the earth, you know, these small trials, such as this whole pandemic, all right, the Squid Games, as the elders are calling it, all right, and many more things, as these things are coming upon the earth, brothers ain't stressing it, man. Why? Because we have the answers. A lot of the time, stress and chaos and that chaotic state of mind comes from the lack of answers. People don't know why. They don't know how they're going to get out of this situation. They don't know what's coming, how they're going to get out of it. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we know these things, man. That's why we're not bugging out. That's why we're stable in these times. Because we know, all right, that the Lord has more judgments, far greater judgments than these. And he's going to sustain us through them all. Lord willing, we're the elect. These things we know. But nevertheless, you know, I was watching a couple of videos from the elders. But I wanted to play this one first. It's from Epic Economist, right? And it's entitled, "Thousands of Cattle Are Disappearing from the U.S. Food Supply Chain as a Global Starvation Plan Accelerates." All right, and through the spirit, man, we've been reporting on this global famine, all right, this up-and-coming global famine for years now, all right, starting from our elders, apostles of Great Millstone on down. You know, we've been reporting of this very frequently, especially now here in these latter days, you know, on a more frequent basis, to say that, you know, and now we're starting to see that famine is, excuse me, Lord, when you can hear me, you know, I'm outside, it's windy, you know, got cars passing, you know, but we're gonna make it do what it do. But nevertheless, man, you know, now more so than ever, we can see the onset of famine here in America, Babylon the Great. All right, and a lot of these store shelves are empty, you know, especially due to these last couple of runs of panic buying, you know, due to the hurricanes and the pandemic and, you know, all these different events that have happened throughout the past couple of years, you know. But nevertheless, there's a shortage in the food supply chain, which is going to lead to not only a famine here in America, but a global famine. All right, and that's a part of prophecy. Let's get that in 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter. And let's see. Let's start at verse 14. And you really have to understand, man, the power that we hold through these scriptures. I mean, this is really the onset of ultimate power. We have the knowledge of the past, present, and the future in our grasp daily. That's why the title of tonight's lesson through the Spirit is, what a beautiful time to be alive in our right minds. The Lord has sanctioned for very few on this earth to receive truth in the latter days. And to not only receive truth, but to carry the truth unto the end and receive a victory alongside Yahweh Shai. And that very well could be us. What a beautiful time to be alive in our right minds with the correct testimony. This is 2 Esdras 15, verse 14. Woe be to the world and them that dwell therein. I'm going to skip down to the point. Verse 16. 19, it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, and we're coming upon this time where there's going to be a whole lot of sedition among men. All right, we read in Matthew the 24th chapter, around the 13th verse, that the love of many shall wax cold. And as the days go by, the love of these people is waxing worse and worse and worse. It's a cold world out here. All right, you see it. You know what's going on. If you're paying attention, I really don't have to tell you much. We really don't have to tell you much at this point. You see how the love of many is waxing cold. All right, the shootings dealing with these police are rising. All right, especially the cases with you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians. All right, the people are getting evicted. Ain't no more grace out here. Ain't no more mercy out here, man. All right, people are getting put to death grievously over the smallest of matters. The love of many is waxed cold out here, man. Just as the scripture said they would. All right, and we're coming into this time to where, there's going to be sedition among men because of the lack of bread. All right, because of this manufactured famine. All right, and ultimately we know that this famine is being manufactured from Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, the Lord is just using the hands of these devils to implement his master plan. You understand? But let's get another one, right? So, this is 2 Esdras chapter 16. It's like it. 2 Esdras chapter 6 and verse 22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And this is the case that we're finding ourselves in today. All right, the full storehouses are suddenly being found empty. All right, these sown places are now starting to appear unsown. Why? Because there's a shortage of supplies. All right, the supply is not meeting the demand of society, therefore causing a shortage. All right, because quite frankly, man, the people here in America are gluttons. All right, they have 4 square meals a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks in between. There's a constant demand. There's also a constant demand for meat. All right, unlike the ancient world, all right, in today's society, meat is like an everyday meal. It's an everyday consumption. It's on an everyday consumption. All right, why? Because it's easily accessible, and you don't have to kill it yourself. You don't have to slaughter your own goat or your own cow, all right, to access this meat. All right, you can just go to your local grocery market. All right, and pick up your local slab of meat. Go to your local butcher and get you a slab of meat. And throw it on the grill, or throw it in the oven and feed your family. There's an easy access to meat here in today's society, and people have grown really dependent on it. That's why you see a lot of these pot-bellied, fat-ass people out here, man, because their stomachs are full of garbage and meat, man. Nevertheless, it's not a wicked thing to eat meat, but the excess of anything is bad for you, but nevertheless, man, there's a high demand for meat in today's society, which the meat isn't able to be supplied at the demand that these people are demanding it. All right, and pretty soon there's going to be a shortage, all right, which we're going to play in the video.
Vanishing from our food supply chains every week? Ranchers are warning America that a meat recession is coming as our beef cattle herd continues to shrink by large numbers. A major sell-off this summer has led to the liquidation of countless livestock herds, but the mass slaughter hasn't stopped during the fall, and it is in fact at historical highs for this time of the year. Now, farmers are telling us that it'll take years for supplies to come back to normal levels, and this means we'll have to get used to paying much more expensive prices for meat from now on.
Right, and another trend that you also see happening is the uptick in prices, you know, while people's paychecks stay the same. You know, people aren't able to afford the same luxuries as they were a year or 2 years ago. You know, meat cost $15. You know, you go in and try to get you a pack of chicken wings, you know, a 12-pack of chicken wings. It could run you for $15 to $20 nowadays, whereas it would have ran you for $10, $12. You know, things that victuals are not so good cheap anymore. You know, the victuals are starting to the prices on these victuals, the prices on these foods are starting to rise. You know, and a lot of people aren't able to keep up, seeing that their checks are staying the same, you know, and or they've been fired, you know, due to this last pandemic, you know, and they're unable to work. But let's see, let's keep playing it.
Situation is triggering widespread alarm across the food industry, and in today's video we're going to investigate what's driving the silent collapse of the largest agricultural industry in the United States. But before moving on, please support our work with authority. Disruptions has made farmers and ranchers deal with some of the toughest conditions for livestock raising in more than a decade, and they're telling us it'll take several years to rebuild our national cattle production. According to the USDA, cattle production is the most important agricultural industry of our country, consistently accounting for the largest share of total cash receipts for agricultural commodities every year. On top of having the world's largest fed cattle industry, the United States is also the world's largest consumer of beef, primarily high-value grain-fed beef. Given that grain prices have risen between 40% and 70% so far this year, that's been a huge problem for farmers who were already coping with higher costs of hay, farming equipment, fertilizers, diesel, raw materials, and other commodities. And
the scriptures also say that those that till the ground shall mourn, you know, going into the farmers. All right, a lot of the prices, you know, have skyrocketed for these farmers to upkeep their livestock, you know, which is in turn having a huge effect on, you know, the supply chain, you know, what we see on the shelves in the stores. Because if the farmers can't get, you know, their grain to raise their cattle, you know, the grain to feed the chickens, to feed the cattle, then essentially they can't prepare it to be sold off and put on the shelves, which is a part of this shortage, which is a part of this shortage that we're seeing, you know. But we're gonna hop off of this, and I wanted to hit the Elder Yashawamba's 2-through page. All right, you know, because the Elder Yashawamba uploads a lot of videos, you know, just going into what's going on in society, man. You know, and there's a lot going on lately, man, alongside this famine. All right, you have this right here.
These people are aware of the fact that our constitutional rights are being set aside without an end date, and that we're heading towards a new system, a tyrannical regime of mass surveillance and control. And this is not just a hunch. This is all part of a bigger plan. This is something people who are watching right now can actually go and look up. What's very important for the American audience to know is that we've had this digital COVID pass in place in Europe, which is basically like a QR code on your phone that grants you access to everyday life, like to bars, restaurants, etc. It's completely bind to your vax.
And I ain't gonna play too much of that, you know why. But you know, this is going into the Revelation 13 to 16. All right, the MOTB. All right, that RFID, radio frequency identification device. All right, this is exactly what it's going into. All right, and also while this famine is brewing up, all right, the infrastructure for the MOTB is being set up right before our eyes as well. All right, all things are being set in place as we speak. All prophecies are being set up to get knocked out, all right, by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai. All right, everything is playing out perfectly, you know. Let's see. I want to play another video from this right here. All right, hold a second. Shalom, man. But let's see.
Sisters, this black
so you also have this feud, you know, between the Israelite man and the Israelite woman, growing stronger and stronger, which the scripture said would happen, you know. But as we know, you know, these women are going to get in line as soon as they see that the Lord is not dealing with the woman, all right, but the Lord is dealing with the man, all right, specifically the Israelite man, and more specifically the elect Israelite man, all right, that carries the testimony of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, all right. And here in these latter days, a lot of these women are going to be put into a reality check on what was really real, all right. A lot of women live in this delusion that, you know, this world is going to continue forever, and these luxuries that Esau has afforded these women here in these latter days are going to continue, which is a complete fallacy. All right, let's get this. 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 14. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. All right, and the woman is going to be saved in childbearing, all right, as she's coupled with an elect Israelite man. All right, and or, you know, in certain cases, you know, the Lord is going to deliver, you know, certain women, you know, who don't have a man, but nevertheless the Israelite woman is going to be saved through her man, all right, through her man who serves Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. All right, that's the order that the Lord set up in the book of Corinthians. All right, it's Yahweh, Yahushai, the man, the woman, and the children. That's the natural order of things, which we're coming back into here in these latter days, you know, slowly, surely. And it's a painful process for a lot of these people, but nevertheless, it's a process that's necessary, man, because this madness has been allowed to continue for too long, for way too long, man. Let's play this.
No reckoning that Cynthia G has been telling you young sisters about for a few years, it has arrived. I went to the Black Walmart today. I'm walking around in Walmart and I'm looking at, from a distance, these trash bag bandits, these legacies of low achievement, these leaders of femicide, genocide, homicide, filicide, matricide, grass every negative side there is. This is what these black men are a part of. So I'm walking down there and I realize I feel nervous because I'm thinking, okay, I got on shorts, and even though I got one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel, according, because I didn't hit that wall. Oh, I hit that wall years ago, right? According to Kevin's sexuals. Well, anyway, I'm feeling nervous because I'm like, I know that they're unaliving 4 to 5 of us a day, and I'm thinking, God, please don't let some black man come up and say hi to me and I don't speak to him the way he wants me to speak to him, and he goes into the kitchen section and pulls out a butcher knife.
Completely delusional, completely out of her fucking mind. She done lost her noodle. Like the brother said in the camp, her meat fell out her taco, man. Her meat done fell out that taco. Completely delusional. And this is the world that the majority of these women on the earth live in today, man. You know, like they in the world of their own, and the Lord gonna snap them out of that real quick. Just like he gonna snap 2/3 of these Israelite men out of their delusion real quick. Those who think they thugs and they gangsters, you know, and they goons, they goblins. The Lord gonna show who the real OG is. Through judgment, through grievous judgments, nevertheless. But just want to touch on that real quick. There's another one with dealing with this Kyrie business. Here it is right here.
That kingdom we shall rule. That kingdom we shall rule. If we keep the laws in Christ. If we keep the laws in Christ. We shall never give up our mind. And we'll get a kingdom too.
And what you're seeing before you really is a showcase of men who don't believe that the testimony alone is enough. Men who really don't believe in the power of the word itself. Because the Lord never said, go out and march, go out and blitz the block, go out and chant, go out and do any of this. All right, the Lord just said, feed my sheep, preach my word, give warning unto my people, claim the judgments unto the nations. And that's it. Nothing less, nothing more. And when we try to go outside of that blueprint that the Lord set up, that's when we start to veer off the path, man. And the mission becomes blurry. And as we see here in the latter days, man, the mission has become a gray area to a lot, in a lot of the eyes of these Israelites, man. It's become a gimmick to some. It's become a money-making scheme to some. It's become trying to think of the word. You know, it's become a battle of the wits between some, you know. It's become a great debate for some. The mission, the true mission, which is to herald in Yahushua's return and to just do the work, has become a gray area to a lot of Israelites, man. But bless the eyes, for we see, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, and our eyes are still trained upon the true mission, all right, which is to feed the Lord's sheep, to do the work, to do our due diligence, to be brotherly, all right, and to wait on Yahushua's return, to herald and to give the Lord no rest, you know, to warn the wicked from their evil ways. This is going to be Matthew, the 13th chapter. All right, we're going to grab these and then we'll close it out. All right, this is Matthew, the 13th chapter. And the 16th verse. It reads, but blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. All right, many righteous men, all right, the men before us, all right, the prophets of old, all right, Yahushua, you know, many righteous men before us have desired to see and to be in the times that we're in today. And they have, and they weren't able to see, you know, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we've been allowed to wake up here in these latter days in our right minds with the correct testimony, to see and to hear and to experience these things, man, to experience the downfall of our enemy, man. This is a Sirach, Ecclesiastes chapter 25 and verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And we are living and experiencing the fall of our enemies, every single one of them, even and our chiefest enemy, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, right before our eyes. Right before our eyes, this devil's kingdom is circling the toilet bowl. His sugar has turned to shit quick. And we're experiencing it. We're watching it. And there's nothing they can do about it. And as we're watching their kingdom go to hell, The Lord is uplifting us right before our eyes. Right before our eyes. He's preparing the table for us right in the midst of our enemies. Just like it says in the book of Psalms, man. Preparing the table for us right in the midst of our enemies, man. You don't get no greater than this. I stand corrected. It will get greater than this. It only gets greater from here on out. We have a lot to look forward to. What a time to be alive in our right mind, man. You know? And for the rest of the world that don't know the Lord, all right, and who forsakes the Lord, man, they just going to have to learn the Lord through death by pain. 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter, tells us that. You know, but nevertheless, I just want to touch on these couple of things, man, real briefly. Lord, witnesses edifying unto you elect. All right, there's a lot going on right now through the Spirit, man, you know, to be paying attention to. All right, don't let it pass you by. All right, the Lord is speaking frequently, man. He's screaming. These prophecies are screaming right now. All right, matter of fact, let me grab this last one and I'll close it out. All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2. It reads, verse 1, it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. I will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. All right, and we're standing on our watchtower right now. All right, proclaiming the downfall of America, Babylon the Great. All right, when you stand upon a watchtower, you're standing upon a high place. All right, where you're able to look and survey the land. You know, and through the Spirit, man, the Lord has put us on high. All right, he's put us on a high place to be able to survey the four corners of the earth by way of prophecy. All right, he's given us the bird's eye view, the lens, all right, to filter out world news, all right, and world events, world happenings through the scriptures, and to be able to give the proper understanding of what's going on in every sector of the world and how it pertains into prophecy and how it pertains into our lives. You know, what part we play in that. It says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. All right, and the vision is speaking about the prophecies. All right, and the table is the Bible. All right, and these prophecies have been made plain upon these scriptures. Why? It says that he may run that readeth it. All right, run to what? Spiritual mental preparation, like we were speaking about earlier. All right, the elect are going to read these words, and there's going to be something in them that the Lord is going to stir up something in them, you know, to run to preparation, all right, to run to that strong tower, pursuing the Proverbs 18 and 10. You know, the Lord is going to stir up something in their spirit, and it's just going to click like, oh, that makes sense. And they're going to run to preparation. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right. And right now we're living in that appointed time to where the vision is not lying, nor is it tarrying. And it's speaking. All right. It's speaking. It's screaming at this point. And if you can't hear it, that's on you, because the prophets have been given a sure sound. Pursuing 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter. All right, the prophets have been given a sure sound of the trumpet. Let you know the straight skinny of what's happening out here. If you ain't dancing to this tune by now, there's something wrong with you. Not the prophets. Not the prophecies. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And the Lord ain't tarrying no more, man. All right, the Lord is working. All right, he putting in, he working overtime, double time, triple time. All right, he working right now, man. He's working, man. He's working. This is Ezekiel 12 and verse 25. It reads, for I am the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no longer prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it. Thus saith the Lord power. All right, and in our days, man, the Lord is going to perform these words. Lord willing, we are the elect. Lord willing, we're allowed to continue, all right, to fight this good fight till Yahushua returns. All right, we're going to see these things play out. These things are going to happen. These things are going to happen, man. It's only a matter of time at this point. It's only a matter of when. What a time to be alive in our right minds with the correct testimony. You can't forsake this, man. You know, this is the greatest gift to man here in these latter days, to the Israelite man here in these latter days, that anyone can receive. Far greater than any type of riches that you can receive on this side. Because these riches that we've been given don't corrupt. They don't mold away. They can't be taken. It's like riding a bike or swimming. Once you learn it, it's stuck. That's a skill that you gain for life. And faith is a skill that, Lord willing, we would elect. We've gained for life. Because some brothers ain't going to die on this side. Pursuing to Mark the 9th chapter. This is a memory they'll have for life. Lord willing. But, you know, with that being said, Shalom. Stay up.